Good morning, everybody, and welcome to hopefully one of our last week's virtual. So, last week, you guys got a chance to look at the Haitian Revolution, which is one of the more impressive revolutions as far as like a drastic change happening. You know, an actual group of slaves revolting and gaining control of their country was pretty impressive. Now, Haiti obviously did not get to reap all the benefits that come with a new country due to just kind of pure racism and discrimination from the rest of the world and people's just refusal to trade with them. But the revolution itself really kind of gave inspiration to a lot of groups of people and was pretty revolutionary. So we're going to move on now into a different kind of time period, not too far into the future, but we're going to start with the Industrial Revolution today. So the Industrial Revolution is this process where the world goes from being based in agriculture to now being based in more industrial economies. So manufacturing and factories and new technologies. And once this takes place, this kind of change, and it starts kind of slow at first. It starts with some changes on the farm, new farm equipment, and then it just kind of gradually gets into the cities. But once it really starts, the world as we know it has been changing pretty drastically ever since. And I feel like the changes are becoming within a smaller period of time. So, think of how much the world has changed since 1920. I feel like that amount of change will be similar to the change we'll see in the next 50 years. So things are kind of speeding up really fast. So as a species, though, we haven't really changed in hundreds of thousands of years. In the last several thousand, we've organized ourselves into complex societies, and our concerns from day to day have not really altered all that much. Sex, love, jealousy, power, alliances, community rival. But some things have changed, like I mentioned, since the creation or beginning of what we consider the modern era, beginning in the late 1700s. So what you're going to do today is to just kind of explore the changes that have happened since then. And then next week, we will talk about kind of the actual beginnings of the industrial era. So the first thing you're going to do, and this video is for that, is to look at this J-curve graph and tell me when you're looking at it, just kind of two statements you could make just looking at the data from this graph. The second thing you're going to do is watch this video. This video is going to give you a bunch of numbers in 4 minutes and show you how much the world has changed in the past 200 years. Then you're going to go to this website, and this is the World Population Interactive. So when you get here, you'll just hit that X, and it'll load up. And it's going to show you at different time periods. So for example, at year 1, it's going to show you what the world population was. And then you can kind of move along the data. You can move these diamonds, and you can see the year up here is changing. And down here, it'll give you some events that have happened. So for example, the creation of the water mill, or the golden age of India. It'll also give you like the first oil wells. And then you can kind of see how and where population has changed since year 1. And you can kind of get in here and look at some of these. There's like Eli Whitney's The Cotton Gin, or the seed drill, or a flush toilet. And you'll just kind of explore that and then answer a couple of questions that come with it. On this one, you're going to read a real short article to help you fill this out. Same thing here, a short article to look at. Then you're going to go to this website called Gapminder. And this one is going to give you some statistics but on specific things. So, for example, the first one you look at is the changes in babies per woman by income over time. So when you pull it up here, right now it's at 2014. So you can drag this over different time periods. And the bigger the circle is, the bigger the population of that country is. And you can kind of see, here's babies per woman and her income. So in France in 1880, the average woman was having 3.4 babies and had an income of 3,610. And then we move forward, and you can kind of see all the changes here. And it'll show you how France has really changed in that time period. All right, so you'll do that with a couple of these, changes in life expectancy, changes in income. And then at the end, you're going to tell me, just in your own words, after you've looked at everything, how is the modern world after 1800 different than all of the time before it? So what changes did you notice in looking at these different graphs and these different statistics? So I hope that you'll find this fairly interesting. Statistics are kind of one of my favorite things to look at, seeing the actual factual numbers. And also just a reminder on the U.S. Capitol assignment, that was not required, but I did feel like as your history teacher, I had to give some facts on the insurrection at the U.S. Capitol. It was kind of scary for me to watch live as it was happening, and some of you have expressed similar views. So if you have not had a chance to go look through that information and kind of tell me how you're feeling and what your thoughts are about what happened, I would love to hear those, but it is not required. So have a great week and let me know and text me if you have any questions.